Well, that sucked.
Did you catch a good replay of the goal that they scored at the end?
I mean, not a good one. None that could tell if he's offside or not. Before we get into that, guys, welcome into another stream. Me and Brody thought we'd hop on and talk about that disappointment of a game we all just had to watch. But no, I didn't see a replay. Like, they didn't have an angle that really showed if he was offside or not. And I mean,
Yeah, they had that weird angle, which kind of looked like he was offside, but not enough to really justify the goal being called back from the one
Oklahoma
angle I
kid,
saw.
Oklahoma kid already chiming in. Can someone pay to take Jordan Morris? Yeah, that was a rough start, which I think you and me are two of the stronger Morris supporters on this channel, but I will admit, but that breakaway, especially, like we got to be putting that one away.
Yeah.
This too, De La Vega. I think the way Georgie impacted this game as soon as he came in, like just dominating on the left. Like if we had a guy similar to that with De La Vega on the other side, it would have been.
Yeah, it could have been lights out. The De La Vega injury. I mean, like I actually remember texting you during the final. We were literally right next to each other, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is it just me, or does De La Vega look like he's hobbling a bit, like he's limping a bit out there?" And I didn't think much of it. I guess after that, no one really talked about it or said anything. And then, lo and behold, misses the last 3 games straight with. I mean, I haven't really been able to see any. Have you? Do you watch most of the interviews that come out? Like, does
Yeah, it's
Brian
like
touch on it
what I've
in
seen is just like
depth or?
tendonitis and stuff, which I feel like De La Vega is one of those guys where we're so like, I don't know, scared to mention his injuries just because it scares the crowd because he's kind of been an injury a week since he's been in Seattle for the most part.
I
So
mean,
I feel
if
like
you're
they
making
just
the
tiptoe around
bench,
it.
it feels like you're good to go. If we absolutely needed him, maybe
Which
we
we
felt
did.
like with we did, but I guess it just felt like with the depth of this team that a Georgie sub, which Georgie did come in and change the game. The thing is, like, I'm not even like in the context of this game. Like, obviously, you'd want a guy like Pedro de la Vega coming off the bench to impact the game, but in the context of this game, like the subs that came in were impactful. Georgie came
Yeah.
in, scored the goal immediately, his first touch. Unfortunately, couldn't. I mean, great save from Stuver. Kind of mishit the ball across from Morris. Could have had 2 goals there. Like Morris was impactful, getting in behind, getting chances. He obviously could not put the ball away. So like, I don't even hate the subs, to be honest with you. It just lack of being clinical in the final third and
Yeah.
cost us.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think Ferreira looked really good. And I was texting my buddy this earlier. I think that if Jesus Ferreira would have been signed at a different time and he was wearing number 17, the fans would love him. But I think because us included hyped him up as our number 9 and he's wearing the 9 shirt, he's just hated by a lot because he just does not score goals.
Did we
And
not?
even
I mean,
today,
I mean, I don't know about you, but when he first of all, I did like the signing on the Tam, but like I never wanted him to come here and be our actual number 9. Like,
yeah.
unfortunately, he took the jersey, so most people are like, okay, well, he's gonna come here and be the 9, right, and score 15, 20 goals a season, but that obviously is not the case. But I thought Ferreira was fantastic. I mean, comes in immediately, uh, puts Jordan Morrison behind twice. Jordan Morrison can't convert. Would have liked to see him just hit that ball kind of over the top of Stuver. Maybe Stuver makes another great save, but I like his chances putting that away and then taking the extra touch. But other than that, I liked Ferreira. I liked Ferreira that game, but yeah,
Barry the GOAT
very
back
mixed
at
up.
it yet again. Reagan must be punished. Jordan must play on the wing. Everyone switched off with 1 minute to go. I agree. So this is the Reagan part, especially. I was texting the same buddy at halftime, and I feel like it's just a repeated story. Sounders for years now. We get so comfortable and so complacent in 0-0, 1-0 games when it feels like we're dominating. And that's what happened at the end of the first half. We were lackadaisical in possession. We felt like we were dominating the game, and it bit us in the rear end, and we got scored on. And
Yeah.
Even on the goal, Reagan, like everyone switched off with a minute left. Like we lost a man in the box. Like that's just poor defending all the way around. Do I think Reagan will be punished? No.
No,
Dude,
and I'm like, when you say punished, you just mean like bench the game.
yeah.
To me, I don't think Reagan needs to be like banished from the squad or anything.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
it is frustrating. And Reagan's like, I can point to 2 games, including this one, where like the game's single-handedly been cost from a lazy Reagan turnover. You look at this game, you look at the home opener against Charlotte. I mean, 2 points right there, thrown away at the very end off of his mistakes. And Reagan's the type of dude where it hasn't been as much this season. I thought despite him being in the MLS Defender of the Year finalist, I thought, in my opinion, this year's been his best, most complete year. I thought last year we saw this as a theme a lot, where Reagan made a lot of mistakes that went unpunished, mistakes similar to these. Haven't seen it as much this year, but obviously, when he has done it multiple times now, it's resulted in us dropping points directly from it. So it is really frustrating. I get your frustration, Barry, absolutely. But
Yeah, and then we'll go over this talk. We're going back to the same story over and over. We need a finisher up top. We need someone who's going to put away the 1v1. And Reed Baker Whiting came in half asleep. The player got away from him. I mean, yeah, same sort of thing we're saying. I'm seeing a lot of things in the chat. We're not winning MLS Cup. Jomo's done. Or all these stuff, sort of the disappointments of today's game, which kind of just sums it up. I mean, this was sort of a stereotypical Sounders loss, I feel like, which we are at the point where I'm happy that we can, not even happy, but it's like, I don't know how to phrase it, but it's just, if we would have came away with a tie, I think that MLS standards, a tie on the road is good, but I wouldn't have been happy with that. And I'm distraught that we found a way to lose this game.
it's, dude, it's like, I know every team can say like, oh, if we had done X, X, and X differently, we could have X, X, and X more points in the table. But like, it feels like you could go through so many Sounder games this year and be like, these are some of the most avoidable mistakes, some of the easiest chances that you could put away as a professional player at this level. And you can go game through game and see these, like, the amount of mistakes like this that have actually cost us points, and be like, dude, if we just did the simple stuff, the easy stuff, like, where could we be sitting in the table right now? Could be in at least top 3. I mean, it's just frustrating. But I will say, to take one positive away, Andrew Thomas did look really good today. I mean, the game, obviously we did lose, but just before that final goal, makes a huge save to keep us level. And it's weird, right? Because Fry's been the franchise keeper for over a decade, but I think J. Ross, I don't want to be like a prisoner of the moment type of thing, but I really think Andrew Thomas has earned the right to keep starting the rest of the season.
100%.
And if you are in favor of Fry starting, I'm not going to sit here and be like, what are you thinking? Of course, Fry's a legend. And like, you already know, even if Fry's not having the best season in the playoffs, there's a really, really good likelihood that he turns up. But I think we've just seen too much from Thomas, and we've seen Fry slow down a bit this year, where it's like Thomas is starting to become undeniable, in my opinion.
Yeah. And this is a big talking point. Christian needs major rest, which
Yeah.
Ari then replied and said he looked tired. But I liked this comment I saw earlier on, which it
Can I
mentioned.
talk about this real quick? Where is Roldan going to find the rest in the next 2 games? Because
Well,
Obed Vargas is going to be
that's
gone.
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If we wanted to play Snyder Brunel, why would we not play him in his comfortable position? Give Roldan some rest. We can just trust the young guys. Clearly Schmetz does, so why not?
Yeah.
And then sub Roldan in at halftime for Brunel. Get some more attacking up front. Like, I don't understand this rotation playing Brunel off the right from the start and giving Roldan more minutes on his legs, because there's going to be no rest for him once we have 2 games with Obed gone. Like, we can't afford to not play Christian now.
Look
And
at
we had
the
an opportunity to
options
give
you
him some
had.
rest.
And also look at the options you had off the bench. You're telling me Georgie's played nowhere near the amount of minutes to not go like back to back to back playing significant minutes in games. Like, Georgie could have easily started this game. The game could have been different had he have started. I mean, my goodness, dude. First touch of the second half, he comes in, changes the game. Who knows what the score could have been? Like, could have started him immediately. Rothrock's a guy that can go 80 plus, like, no matter how many games you have in a week. Just, that was strange. I think everyone can agree that was a strange move. And Snyder's clearly shown his best work at center mid. Like, that was frustrating. And Obed Vargas is missing 2 games. You know that. Like Brian,
it's like
you
that's not
you
even like
received the
it's like
call.
that's a fact. It is a
You
fact.
received the call. You received the call. You received the call from Mexico. You're like, yep, we're gonna let him go. You're gonna miss XX amount of games. Yep, that's fine. You know that's gonna happen, and you still make this decision on the lineup. It was strange. I mean, I like I said, I gave Brian credit for the subs he made in the second half. I did like him. I thought they made a great impact in the game, but
We should
that
have won
was
that game.
one. Yeah, that was one lineup decision where I'm like, that's a bit of a head scratcher. And I think if Brian, looking back, if he could redo his lineup, that's probably the one thing that he changed from the start. Is have Georgie in right away and roll on the bench.
Which Wandering Ghost agrees. Georgie deserves to start against Vancouver. 100%. 100%. I think that we'll have a lot of opportunities against them to catch him on the break, and I think that we'll have a lot of space for Georgie. I don't see why we wouldn't let Georgie from the start.
I will say though, Ferreira, like obviously you would think Ferreira would start, but I think he was coming into the game with a bit of like muscle tightness or something like this. So Brian didn't want to.
Yeah, he did say that was mentioned on the broadcast as well, that Ferreira had some sort of tightness. But Cheyenne, who cannot be on the stream today, but he is able to drop a comment, says, thoughts on Morris? Brody, what are your thoughts on Morris?
Morris looked like a guy today who's clearly not played much in the last several months, right? I mean, couldn't put the ball away. Two good chance. I mean, the first chance, fair enough. It's not like, it's the easiest chance in the world, but the second one, I mean, point blank in front of goal, you got to put that around the keeper, right? So frustrating. Morris did look sharp the game before. He looked sharp his first game back off the bench. I think, I'm not going to say like Jordan's completely cooked. I mean, it's a bit of an overreaction, I think. I mean, you could point to several games where Musovski missed 2-3 chances in a game, and you're like, Musovski's done. And then what does he do? Gets more minutes, comes back in, puts a goal or two away, and the thing keeps moving. So, I mean, it's not the most ideal performance, of course, but I'm not going to hit the panic button just yet.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And Barry mentioned that Moose with 20 goal contributions this season is positive. Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that we can attest this to is how many chances we've been able to create prior to this little skid. And that's one thing I want to talk about is I get so frustrated when the Sounders seem to get frustrated in a game. We just settle for aimless crosses in the box. And it wasn't as bad tonight, but there were still stretches, especially in that first half when we were dominating. I think that first half was kind of a textbook on other teams how to beat the Sounders. You put a 3 back, you make us settle for crosses and go win it in the air. Because the Sounders look uncomfortable and we're able to dictate possession. And that's how Austin was able to score at the end of that first half. And it's kind of been like that for years now, where the Sounders are best when we can catch them on the counter and get some space. And like Cheyenne says, everyone don't forget to drop a like on the stream. We'll keep going for a while, but if you guys have any opinions on the match, drop that in the chat. Don't forget to leave a like.
Barry made me chuckle. Well, you were talking, this popped up. Oh, yeah, dude. You know what's like? I will say we've the RGTV boys. We talk about Morris, Musovski, D-Row. We talk about them quite a bit in the chat. The one thing you can say confidently based off of this season is that Musovski's the most clinical finisher out of the bunch. I think when it comes to just like who offers, like who's more dangerous, who's more dynamic, I think it's clearly Jordan. If you could just have Jordan have that Musovski finishing ability, man, that would be really nice. But it seems like we just got like one. It's like we have the clinical finisher can't really do a whole lot outside of that, and we have the guy who can get a lot of chances, really dynamic, but inconsistent finishing, and then we have Osase who inconsistent finishing, has decent technical ability, but kind of just like a one-dimensional kind of big guy in the box, Like
and cool celebrations.
Yeah, and he's got the, shake and bake, the Rosario family celebration. It just in these games, it just reminds you, a swift reminder, a kick in the ass that you're missing a guy like Raul Ruidiaz,
Yeah.
Games like these where you're just like, I wish I could just have a sit in and forget it striker, not have to worry about who's got to start who. I could just switch my brain off. Raul's the 9. Don't have to think about, let's worry about the rest of the positions. We're missing that right about now, I would say.
See, this is fair. I would say if Georgia would have scored, he'd be glazing Jordan, which I think he'd be glazing Jordan for that play. But I still think we'd have the same conversation about missing chances because he had 2 clear chances. I don't think we'd be saying is Jordan cooked. I think we'd be still having this is finishing, leave a lot to be desired, which 100% is.
Yeah, I mean, I was like I was saying, he's the most dynamic forward we have. I mean, he's able to get in behind, play balls across like that consistently because of his pace and his ability to make runs. Like, it's not like Jordan was in all like facets of the game terrible. It's just, again, like, it's kind of like the Jesus Ferreira game. You're good at everything else except for the one thing that you need to be good at. Just it's frustrating.
Well,
It's frustrating.
I think it's time to talk about this. So we still did create chances, but now we have to bounce back against Vancouver. And when you start to look at the standings, we're getting to the point now where we really do need to start finding some. We really do need to start finding some points and finding some wins, because let's face it, the Sounders need to host more in the playoffs. Like, I feel scared. I was going on the road. We've been poor on the road. Proved it again today. I think the Sounders need to find some results and find them quick. And you look at the teams around us, like, all of a sudden, Portland not far behind us. Austin 1 point behind us now. LAFC is losing currently to RSL, which plus and minus, we're easier to catch up to LAFC, but RSL is going to be close to clipping on our heels. Like, the end of the season is so close to the point where the Sounders need to win. They need to win now.
Yep. I mean, we got what, 4 games left? 4 games left against 2. I mean, Vancouver, Portland, 2 tough teams. I don't know. I think Salt Lake we got, and then NYCFC, who have been good this season, right? Haven't they been good this season?
Yes, they've been on a bit of heater. We'll flip it over to this.
Yeah, exactly.
NYCFC just knocked off Charlotte in a 10-game win streak. Like,
it's not like we have
easy games left. Yeah, right at the end of the year. Like,
so it's a tough schedule, man. Like, these are games like today, games like last game. Those are games that you needed 3 points from each, and we got 1 from 2. So it's, yeah, man. I mean, to be honest with you, if we finish straight around the 7th spot, wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all.
And how much of this conversation? Because you and me were on a live stream not that long ago following Leagues Cup, talking about how good we felt going into the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Wow, how quickly the table can turn. Because this is now 3 games in a row where we've been pretty poor. I mean, Galaxy, the fact we ended up drawing there is poor. I do think I give a little more leniency for the Miami game. In my opinion, that was a little more of a throwaway game from us in general. Like, playing on a Tuesday on the road in Miami, I didn't expect us to get points there. But now dropping a point today, like, of the 9 points we've had in the last 3 chances, we've gotten 1. I almost said 2 because I can't believe we lost this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can really say that's somewhat positive is, like, and I will say it sounds kind of crazy, but out of all the teams in the West that could make a run just playing, mostly away from home, you would put us in the top 1 to 2 teams in the West, even with how good San Diego's been. Obviously, no playoff experience ever. So, I mean, I do like our chances even having to play away. I mean, we've shown, like, what we can do in big tournaments, right? Big time matches. So I just don't want to have to rely on that. You like to have the comfortability of playing at home. And it seems like we're kind of just playing all nonchalant. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how does this, I mean, what other explanation is there other than just like a drop of intensity?
Yeah.
Like, literally
that
2 weeks ago,
complacency we talked
holding
about.
a trophy.
We're comfortable and we can let the foot off the gas a little bit. We've seen getting comfortable multiple times in the comments that, sense of complacency that the results will come. We felt that in the first half. I honestly you felt that a little bit at the end of the game where it was kind of like we will find that goal, and then we just switched off and got scored on.
Yeah,
and it's just poor, and it needs to change quick. And I mean, a couple Cascadia games, hopefully, the energy rises a little bit and we can live up to that expectations. I mean,
yeah, and I did, just before we move on from this point, I did tweet out, like, I am. We do need to get our shit together, but I am confident in Brian Schmetzer. Like, I think that in this sort of situation, I think we will end up getting our shit together a bit, whether that means we finish like 4th or 5th, or even if we have to play away in the playoffs, I think we'll still have a good chance. I think he'll get us ready by then. But you're right. Things need to happen fast. Changes need to happen fast. So.
Yeah, and this is actually, so one, we'll start with Vamos Sounders. Ferreira looked better than Rusnak. Ferreira looked really good in my opinion in the 10 today. And I mean, we said it earlier in the stream. If he wore any shirt but the 9, he'd
If
be
he wore the
completely
10 shirt.
different. Yeah,
He wore the
literally.
10 shirt. Yeah. I mean, if we're he looked good. I mean, it's just like I'm glad people are starting to notice like the little things that he does. I mean, obviously it was more apparent in this game, but he's been a guy all the last several like 2-3 months that's been a dude that maybe he's not consistently scoring or assisting, but he's always involved, just always involved, making key passes left and right. I really like his play. I really like him as a player in general. I think Ferreira needs to be down the stretch a key player for us, and I hope Brian will make that happen.
Yeah. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to become a member. Your comments will always be promoted throughout these streams. But guys, keep leaving in the chat what you think about the game, your opinion for the upcoming fixtures. Honestly, anything you want to talk about Sounders related, because after a result like this, a stretch of results like this, there's plenty to talk about around the Sounders.
Well, I actually want to talk about something real quick. So, obviously, post Leagues Cup, Pedro de la Vega, 3 games in a row, not seeing the field, obviously on the bench tonight. So you would assume that means, if it was a crucial like win and get in type of scenario or something, he would have came in. But with him just sitting effectively the last, 2-3 weeks, when he comes back, like what do you do with him? I guess, is he coming back and immediately, being the guy? I mean, Leagues Cup, he was the best player in the Leagues Cup. I mean, won the MVP of the Leagues Cup, right? But 3 games in a row not playing. He's been sitting quite a bit. His fitness is probably taking a bit of a hit. Georgie's playing well. Like,
I think he has to
I'm
go off the
curious
bench
to
when he
see.
comes back, obviously. But my fingers are just crossed that he can come back in the regular season so he can have some off the bench appearances. And then Smets just has some tough decisions to make when we come playoff time, which
Yeah.
I don't know what you do. I mean, I guess you go best in form, but Georgie deserved minutes. Georgie has looked so good. And it actually blows my mind how defenders just can't stop Georgie. His change of pace is just next level to the point where it's like he has all the intangibles that you can't coach into a player. With the proper coaching, Georgie can be insane. And Cheyenne has been on the Georgie boat forever, and it's starting to be proven correct.
Yeah. I mean, it's slow. You can see the progression in his game. I mean, at first it was like, I remember because he debuted last year, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, but I remember you'd always text me being like, I want Georgie after every practice to just go strike 100 balls against a brick wall.
I just remember, I don't know if this was either his first appearance or one of his first appearances, but it was at home against LA. It was like a deadlock 0-0 game. And Georgie, like multiple times, beats the first man, and then the pass just goes completely wayward or doesn't make the right decision in time, loses the ball. But you always saw the flash of like, okay, he's every single time beating the first man, every single time. And you've seen that evolve to now where he's beating the first guy, playing in, half the time a quality ball, or putting half the time, maybe that's a bit generous, but putting in a good shot on goal. Today it was a little bit more of like the old Georgie where, of course, he's beating the guy immediately off his first step, right? But more like, okay, you're pulling the ball back, like kind of.
It was one too many touches every time.
Yeah, I would just rather you put a ball in there, or you cut inside, you have angle to shoot. I mean, fucking hell, Georgie, look at the Leagues Cup goal you scored off that same situation. Like, why are you not cracking the ball right there? Just a little bit of stuff like that. He's still a work in progress, but like anyone could have seen from when he was first starting that, like, he's got that raw ability, and you could turn that into a star in this league. And slowly but surely, he's getting there. And it's going to take more minutes. So
yeah,
I hope Brian gets him those.
So like we said, what we need to host playoff games. And I do think that Ferreira would have started this game if fit. So I'm wondering, there has to be some injury or something.
Muscle tightness is what they were talking about on the broadcast.
So that makes sense. I think that Ferreira is slowly becoming a must start. The chances alone he made today. We've talked about this on and on, so I won't ramble too much more. But Vamos Sounders, this isn't talking about De La Vega. He should start when he's fit again. Rothrock. I mean, the Rothrock lover on this page, and he definitely left a lot to be desired today. He doesn't really have that flair as much. And I've said it to you multiple times. I think with our starting wingers, it really depends on in the playoffs, especially what that draw is like. If we're at home, I think it should be a De La Vega and Georgie when we know we're going to dominate the ball. If we know we're going to be defending a bit, we're going to be in some tough situations. I'm okay seeing Rothrock because he's the type of guy who will find a spark. He'll get under someone's skin.
I will say I agree with that generally, but even in a game where we could be defending more, I still would like De La Vega just because I think he brings a similar work rate. But you add that ability to make an absolute game-changing play. Yeah, I mean, like do or die scenario. I'm starting Pedro De La Vega on the left, and then like you said, by matchup, uh, that could depend on who you start. But I will say, it's kind of funny. We're kind of switching roles here. Like you're the Rothrock lover, I'm the Rothrock hater, as it's been understood on this channel. Like I will give like a bit of slack on Rothrock. Like the whole team, kind of like we've had players with bright moments, but the whole team has kind of just been a bit, still in the honeymoon phase of winning Leagues Cup. I'm not here to defend like his play. His play needs to be better, but it's not like he's been terrible. I've seen some. Trust me, man. I've seen some Rothrock absolute stinkers. I don't think he's dropped anything like that in quite a while. But obviously, I agree. He's not like a locked-in starter. I don't see anyone on the wings, in my opinion, except for a healthy Pedro as a locked-in starter. So I would definitely like to see more Georgie moving forward for sure.
Yeah, the chat just got a bunch of comments. So sorry to join late, guys. Just want to say I'm absolutely sick to my stomach. I think we all are. And then Cheyenne, circling back to a conversation that we have had multiple times. We saw the Sounders play some of their best soccer in years without Rusnak, Morris, and Fry, two of them being DPs.
We could have, yeah. Imagine what it would look like if we freed them up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Okay. Because I like to imagine, too, I like to live in fantasy land sometimes. But with the Sounders, with the kind of money that our club has, our owner, what he wants to spend, you got to buy out, like, what, 2 to 3 remaining years of both of their contracts. That's going to be millions and millions of dollars. Like, that could be almost $10 million just between the both of them, if not more, that you're having to pay out just to get them off your team. And then you got to spend another 10 to 15 million to bring players back. So I don't see it happening. This is the core that we got, and we got to make the most of it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I don't know if it, like, first of all, I'm not here defending Craig Weibel. Like, I'm not going to say he's an elite GM, right? But I don't think not only does he not have the balls, he doesn't have the finances, brother. You got to have the finances to do that. You can't, like, you can't make these moves unless you got the money to do it. I don't think we do. It's not just like cut him and then he makes $0. You got to pay them the millions that they're guaranteed. So it's just a tough situation. And again, like I will say about Craig Weibel, you put us in this situation. You did re-sign Rusnak for a giant DP deal. And I'm not going to sit here and be like Rusnak hasn't played like a DP for, moments of the season. Like he's had a stretch multiple times this season of good DP play. But I also agree with Cheyenne's take that the team without Rusnak, it's not like he's, it's not like this team is do or die without Rusnak like it was with, prime Nico Ladero,
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. I agree with Cheyenne, Morris, and Fry. I think Rusnak has, of the guys we've mentioned, Rusnak has played like a DP when he's played. He's just been hurt. But the biggest problem for me is we have Rusnak and Ferreira, who both want to do the same sort of things.
Yeah, but I think it was like, there was during that massive stretch we had, both those guys were mostly playing on the field at the same time together. So, like, we were making it work. But then Rusnak goes down. Shit happens. We're in a weird spot where we're post Leagues Cup and we're kind of just in honeymoon land. It's weird. It's a weird time. This little stretch of the last few games has been really weird. And I agree, and like I said, in fantasy made up dreamland, I would want, to free up these 2 spots and add the next tier of player in those spots. But there's no world where that happens, sadly. That would be the most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life if that happened. Genuinely, I don't see how it happens.
This comment, I don't really know like a statement how to like describe it, but after the first 2 minutes of stoppage time, even when we looked dangerous in the middle of the crucial playoff seed push, embarrassing, like I feel like there's been multiple games this year where we get into like the second half of stoppage time and we just start passing around the back aimlessly, like don't look like we want to go score. And
Yeah.
I don't know which game it was. I want to say it was that Charlotte game where we gave up that goal late, where it was we were passing around the back and Smith was on the sideline, like yelling at everyone to go, push forward, go score. And we just like aimlessly passed it around. I don't have any like tactical, logical, anything behind it, but I've like watching the end of this stoppage time, that comment, it like all clicked to my brain. And I'm like, I don't understand what is the reason behind, but it keeps pissing me off.
Yeah. It's just strange. Like I said, weird fucking last stretch of games for the Sounders.
Yeah,
What is
it's
this
just
one he just put up?
yes.
Okay. Sorry, Chance, but Morris is absolutely cooked. I can't even believe my eyes. Like cooked in. I mean, here's the thing. To me, I haven't seen much of a difference with Morris. Like we knew he was an inconsistent finisher. We knew that, right? He's still like his pace is not completely chopped. Like he's still easily getting in behind. He's still able to beat people off of one touch and sprinting. He should have 2 assists in the last 2 games. The one to Georgie, obviously, and then the one last game. I just like I don't really see. It's kind of what he is, right? He's a dude that he's a dynamic striker in the league. He's an inconsistent finisher. He's never going to be an elite guy in the league, and I feel like we've known that. My opinion on Jordan Morris hasn't changed much, to be honest with you, other than the fact that I can only give him some sort of slack for just not playing much at all this entire year. But even then, it's just the same old Jordan, in my opinion. Dynamic but inconsistent finishing the ball.
I hate to circle back to this, but yes, good point. When I was talking about the stoppage time thing, that Atlanta United game, when we gave up that screamer, it was right after that. We just aimlessly passed. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I don't have anything else to say, but like, what the?
That's
like,
just like surely he's not going to fucking belt it from 35 yards and hit it top bins, right?
But then after we got scored on, we're just like passing it around. Like,
yeah,
we don't need to go win. Like, what the?
we're cool with the draw. Just
the Sounders just have those games and it pisses me off because we could be so good. But there's the LA game. I felt it.
There's no reason we shouldn't be top 3. No reason.
There's so many games where I'm watching this game. I'm like, oh, we're gonna blow this. We're gonna tie this. You can just feel it, and it's so annoying. And it happens the same way. And I didn't feel it as much today, but I felt it in that Galaxy game. You could feel it in the Miami game, and then it ended up happening in this game too. It's like, oh, what the?
Yeah.
All right, guys, before we go on to the next thing, there have been talks that fan cams will be back for a quick reappearance following the Whitecaps game. Cheyenne would love to get that going. So if you guys are planning on going to the Whitecaps game, let us know in the chat. We will post out where to meet up and where we will be able to ask you guys questions. You guys can give your opinions on the Sounders, hopefully following a Cascadia Cup win. But if we play like we have the last 3 games, I wouldn't count on it. But I still have hope. Jordan Morris looked gassed. Yeah, like just like what Brody said, I think part of it is the fact that he hasn't played.
Yeah.
Same thing. Barry was gassed. I do think we subbed him in a little early. But also, the Sounders are the ones that know it's like they have all of his fitness numbers. They know everything he's doing. So I trust them to know where he's at more than us. But
yeah, that's just
right.
like I know it's like a common thing to kind of like dick on Morris a bit. But if this was like, let's just say, I mean, even last year, Pedro de la Vega in a very similar situation, different injuries, but months, several weeks consistently without playing. They come back, you're like, why doesn't he look as explosive as he did earlier in the year? Why is his fitness so bad? It's like a time thing. He just needs more time for his fitness.
He's still playing with a brace on too. Like,
yeah,
he still had his shoulder brace. You could see it when they panned over to him. So it's not like he's the Jordan Morris that we know and some of us love, me, but some other people don't. He's still not really up to himself. So we'll have to see how that works out. We have to talk about this though. The first half, you already said Thomas should be starting from here on out. You've given your opinion. I've given mine.
Yeah.
The Obed contract is something that you mentioned in our chat during the game. We need to re-sign him ASAP.
Absolutely, yeah. And the biggest reason for that is obviously it's inevitable. Obed Vargas is going to be sold, whether it's this next window, the window after that, or the window after that. I expect within the next year, year and a half, he'll be sold. Sounders currently, Obed Vargas, his contract's sort of expiring. I think we have another option year on it, but ultimately, to get the best leverage that you possibly can, you want to sign him on a long-term U22 deal with the intent to advance him into Europe. And I don't think it's one of those things where the Sounders want to just like gatekeep Obed Vargas and never let him go. I mean, the Sounders, for example, a youth World Cup, a U20 World Cup, not even a fucking first team appearance at all or anything like that, or a first team camp. And the Sounders said, go ahead, we'll let you go, even though we're missing, two crucial games, two Cascadia games that you're missing. We want you to put your best foot forward to give yourself the best chance to make the World Cup squad and get consistent minutes playing at the national team level. So the Sounders have shown a willingness to like, hey, we want to further your career, Obed. We're fully in support of you achieving your goals and your dreams. But that being said, the Sounders ultimately have to look after themselves too. Best way to do that, get him on a contract extension. It's not like we're going to hold him hostage, right? But you got to get someone on a long-term deal to get the most money you can out of them, and I suspect that'll happen pretty soon.
So we'll talk about this earlier, but I see a lot of people in the chat asking about it. So De La Vega, it's just claimed to be a knee injury, and he was questionable for the Galaxy game, which is so weird. So he's questionable, doesn't make the bench against Miami, makes the bench today, doesn't play. We saw a knee tendonitis at one point, so I don't really know if it's just. I don't know if they're telling us the full truth, or I don't know. It's something with his knee, which is kind of scary because that's a new injury.
And I wonder if it's on the ACL knee too, because for those of you who don't know, he tore his ACL, I think a couple years before signing here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's just scary seeing another injury for him on the report that it's almost like it's been pushed under the rug a little bit. I almost wonder if they don't want to scare the fan base too much by announcing another De La Vega injury, because going questionable, not playing, it's like, what is being hidden? Was Grinnell good on the right side? Response. I just think that he's not really made to play off the right. I don't think he was bad. I just don't think he was good. I think he was very much just like there.
A player playing on a position as a teenager with very limited MLS experience. So,
so tendonitis. That's what we saw. That's what we've heard, that it's supposedly tendonitis. And then what's with this team and torn ACLs?
We love them.
Yeah, it's just one more thing that we like to win in this league at. Most ACL tears.
We put that on this, when we're scouting for players, we make sure to include that. Have they torn their ACL before? Yes.
We're putting a banner up. Most ACLs gone. Let's go. Leagues Cup won't get one bit. ACLs will. But the coach staff is trying to save Pep over the playoffs. I hope so. But also, it's like,
you need to get him in. You need it.
We're not.
Look, go ahead.
We have plenty of time till playoffs start. There's no reason why he's not playing the last 15 minutes in a game where we tied 1-1.
Yeah, you need to, let's assume best case scenario because he's on the bench, right? Best case scenario, he could have played had he needed to come in. This is you need to get this guy touches on the ball. You need to get him in the flow of these games, especially would have been a perfect playoff scenario type game. Late in the game, you need to come in and make a difference. These are the kind of games where you would like to see him get minutes. I know he's trying to rest him. That could be true, but I can't imagine that we will rest him the rest of the season or most of it and then just be like, yep, you're not in form. Start 90 minutes in the playoffs. Yeah. I would be a strange tactic if that happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. If it was actually load management, that's a whole other problem. It's like these games, we don't have the ability to do fully load management because we're fully in a playoff push right now. Got to get him some touches.
Well, load management's not necessarily a problem, but that load management needs to look like you're starting 60, you're benched and playing 30. Something like that. That's load management, not you're shoved to the end of the bench until it's playoff time. That's not load management. That's keeping somebody hostage.
Yeah.
Don't like that. It's not a good thing.
We do not support hostages here on Rave Green TV. Anti-hostage podcast. Drop a like if you hate hostages or keeping people hostage, I guess. Let's phrase that. Golly.
Got.
Got replay. Oh gosh. Hostage management. Clip it.
Yeah, you're clip, buddy.
That came out bad.
Known hostage hating channel. Fuck's sake.
Gosh.
Found, come back, please.
Please.
Oh shit.
I was gonna go back to talk about the turf, but this
Morris barely looked 30 minutes fit. That I did notice that though. Like, I mean, he's gotten minutes in the last couple games. It seemed like after 15 or 20, he was just gassed. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's a bit strange. I mean, you've obviously been ramping up in training leading up to those appearances, and like you can't even go 20 minutes without being tired as fuck. All right. Weird.
Speaking of clip this. Subaru, if we make the final, you have to fly out. We will happily celebrate with you after the game.
Happily.
That's a fact. Certified fact.
Yeah, man. Do they really tie the game? I will say, dude, LAFC look like one of the most dangerous teams in the MLS at the moment, man. Like they're starting to get clicking big time. And they got one of the most dangerous players in the league now with Son, obviously. So it's like, do we really want to finish below them and have to potentially meet them away at LAFC in the playoffs? We wouldn't have to do that had we had won, a couple of these games, but that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm sure we'll, get lucky again with an own goal and advance, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Hey, but Morris with a good goal in that game as well. So, maybe we run it back. Maybe this striker that is not 30 minutes fit, who's an athletic, dynamic striker who can't finish and whose athleticism is literally disappearing in every game before our eyes, will pull another big moment and we'll go through again to inevitably lose to San Diego or something like that.
Could we sign Dybala?
I don't think he'd fit in what I think that's actually the one spot in the attack where we don't want to go sign another player. Not to say anything not to hate on the comment, but I do think that a 10 would be a waste because I think if we already have Rusnak and we have Ferreira. But also I wouldn't mind us because I do love watching Dybala and he's been fun to watch for however long now. So regardless of that, we don't tremble and shake playing at LAFC. Other than the playoffs, we don't know how those end. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like I said during the stream, like you would back us versus most clubs in the West to make a run away from home, playing mostly away from home. So it's not like I'm going in thinking, oh, we're fucked. I mean, we played against Leo Messi for crying out loud and showed in a cup final that we can, play with higher intensity than them and dominate them in a final, So I'm not afraid. I wouldn't be afraid of LAFC away from home. It's just not ideal. Like they're definitely favored in that match for sure.
They scored again.
It's looking like fourth is kind of out of reach at this point with 4 games to go. I mean, they're sitting at what now? Like
we can't even focus. We just gotta focus on getting a win at this point.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be what 5 points ahead of us.
I will say this whole conversation we've had about our strikers not having a clinical striker. Who are the 2 guys that have scored for LAFC in that game? Denny Bouanga and Son.
Yeah.
Also, side note, I don't know if this is like everyone take, but among everyone I know, Hyunmin Son is such an easily likable soccer player. Like I feel like everyone you can't hate Hyunmin Son. Why did he have to go to LAFC? Because he had immediately erased that feeling for me. Like why? I feel like LAFC is such an easily dislikable team.
Well, look at what he's doing to Bouanga, man. I saw Bouanga sweaty the ball to Hyunmin Son and was more more happy than him scoring his own goal. Bouanga, one of probably the most egotistical players in the league. like happy to take an easy goal from him and give it to Son, and they're both like holding hands, jumping up and down. It's like, fuck, dude,
Yeah.
fuck, like son of a bitch, man. This is not good. We are in grave potential danger here. I am not happy about what's happening right now. Yeah, LAFC for me, I will say like it's kind of weird because I will say Vancouver just because of the long history. Obviously, are a big rival, but for me personally, Portland's number one. Hate them absolutely, but LAFC is number two. I will say there's a gap between the two, but man, LAFC, fucking all, dude, hate them. Just
The thing
fucking
is,
hate
too,
them.
you know what I think part of it is too, which LAFC fans like me saying this. I hate LAFC more than Vancouver because we've had more meaningful games and LAFC has been better and been a legit club. Vancouver now is a legit squad, but for most of the history of our rivalry with them in MLS era, Vancouver's been terrible.
Yeah,
So the only thing Vancouver's had to flex is Cascadia Cups. So I didn't really like ever feel threatened by that rivalry. Now it'll be a little different, a lot different because Vancouver's legit.
that's
But
why.
it
That's
feels
why I
like,
was saying. That's why I was. Don't mean to cut you off, but that's why I was saying when they were in Concacaf and we're like, I mean, we kind of want them to win. I'm like, dude, here's the thing, man. It's all fun and games until little bro starts to, eat his fruits, eat his vegetables, eat his steak, drink his milk, and all of a sudden he gets big and strong, and all of a sudden they're a threat and they're starting to like kind of close the gap. You're like, okay, let's not get too crazy. Enjoy your little insanity run, but let's not. I draw the line at trophies.
yeah,
I draw the line at trophies for them.
yeah, as a recent set, also Inter Miami, also so easily hateable. I think the thing is about LAFC and Inter Miami are clubs where if you're not an MLS fan, you can easily like those teams. You see guys like Son, you see guys like Messi, but as an MLS fan, it's so easy to hate those clubs because they
I,
have all those guys and we don't.
the reason why Inter Miami is beneath for me is that first of all they haven't been around quite enough, and also it's like no matter who was at LAFC, whether it was Bawanga or if it was like Vela and Rossi and those, like no matter what, hated him. I
Yeah,
feel like Miami now is just like
I know.
before Messi came, like did anyone hate Miami? No one gave
No,
a fuck. They were just there. But then Messi and his boys come along. Then once they go, guess what? No one will really care about Miami. Whereas like if LAFC becomes shitty and like start to go bottom of the barrel of the league, like you're still gonna when you beat them, you'll still be like, yeah, fuck you. You were in last. You suck. Like even if they were to get way worse. Whereas like when Miami lose Messi and friends, I don't think anyone's gonna care about them.
yeah. I hate Galaxy too. See, the
I
same
hate
sort of
Galaxy
thing.
more than
It's
yeah.
because we had all those years where when Galaxy were in their prime, where it was like those were big, meaningful games. Gotta have a reality check. The league has helped Miami, Galaxy, and LAFC. 100%. But you know the biggest thing about this statement is too is all three of those clubs bring their checkbooks to every meeting, and they're willing to put money down on the table. So the league has definitely helped them because it's allowed them to spend money, but also, they've put the
That's the
money
thing.
out.
I wonder if we brought those same checkbooks to the table, would they help us in our favor? Which I mean, they kind of did. Look at Clint Dempsey. That was
Oh
not
yeah,
all us. That was the MLS helping make and orchestrate this move. I feel like the Seattle Sounders could have a similar, maybe not to, that great of an extent as LAFC, LA Galaxy, Inter Miami, but I feel like the Sounders could have some sort of pulling power if we actually like brought more money to the table to bring someone like a Son or not a Messi, but like even hypothetically that weird Rashford rumor, stuff kind of similar in that area. Like if we were more serious about spending, I think we could potentially get the MLS to help orchestrate some moves like that. But we'll never know because we'll never put that kind of money out there. So I guess we'll never know, as Kanye West once said.
this is interesting to me because you guys think having home turf. I think there's definitely certain players that it keeps us away from getting because we have turf. But I also think the MLS is such a different spot than like 15 years ago. And we're talking about like David Beckham, like these players that don't want to play on turf. I think the MLS is such a good stepping stone spot where there are plenty of legit stars that will play on turf, but they might not be the legit like washed European players that we might be talking about.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it pushes some players away, but I don't think it should be a hindering as to why we can't go get a legit player.
Yeah.
This, like we said, they'll help anyone with a fat checkbook. 100%. 100%. But Guys, do not forget to leave a like on the stream if you're enjoying this. If you want to become a member on the channel, all your comments will definitely get featured. You'll have some fun emojis that you guys can drop in the chat. Speaking of dropping that in the chat, Papa Lover said, Lewandowski's contract expires this year.
That's my dude. He would this year, like, let's just say, just explore the idea if we had Lewandowski in our team. I think he would have set the MLS goals record by like 10 in this team at least.
Dude.
Like it's nuts. He's the perfect striker for the team that we have. And had he, like, let's say we put him into our team and he played this full slate of MLS games, he would have had fuck knows 40, 45 goals. I'm so confident in that. Like,
well, because think about it. We had this conversation about the reason Moose has had so many goal contributions is because we make so many chances. But we talk about how many he misses. Imagine if we had a guy like Leba who doesn't miss those chances. It'd be
if Musovski has 20, what's stopping Lewy from having 50?
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, yeah. This is an interesting one. If you could free up those 2 DP spots, who would you offer them to? I mean, like, we could be like, yeah, cool, Mbappe and Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
We could say stuff like that. But, I mean, like, if you haven't checked before, we did make, like, a realistic transfer targets video. I'd be looking at just guys around there, guys that are, like, if you can bring in a quality, well-scouted U22 DP, like, that would be nice to give us an extra U22 spot.
I think, okay, if I were to ask you this, I'll rephrase it. If you could free those 2 DP spots, what 2 positions would you invest in a DP?
A striker, number
100%.
1. I mean, I would kind of just replace, like, whatever spot we're freeing up. I kind of just would replace that spot. But I assume when we're talking about, because given the context of the stream, I assume those 2 spots mean Morris and Rusnak. I guess, you know what? Actually, now that we talk about this, would we just kind of slide Ferreira over to the 10 and then?
I was gonna say I would sign a striker and I would sell it. I would buy a center mid in replace of selling Obed.
True.
I think we have plenty of winger depth. I think we need a striker.
We do that. Look, because I like where you're going with this. Because Obed, it's inevitable. He's going to move in the next year or 2. We get that striker. We get that center mid. Then who are you bringing? Like, are you going after a big U22, or are you kind of like, we got the DP mid, we got the DP 9, we got Ferrer at the 10. Are you looking to try and make a big U22 move, a game changing one, if you will?
I always would, right? Like
Where would you go with that move, though? What position would you be going?
I think that, see, that's hard. It depends, because at the start of the year, I actually was really big at us going to try to find like a left wing back and move it to like a 3 back, but I don't see us ever doing that. I think we just go after another winger.
We probably would, right? I mean, Reed Baker Whiting just signed for a long-term U22, so he's, given where Brian's played him, he's going to be the outside back of the future, it seems like. Barry makes a great suggestion. My mom doesn't have any knees, so, I mean, if you're mad at Morris for having no knees, then I don't think my mom's a good upgrade either.
Yeah. So. Live stream. God bless everyone. Win, loss, draw. Wow. Win, loss, draw. Good times, bad times. Sounders till I die. Love to see it. We are too.
Great.
It's a fun little tangent. 40,000 or 45,000 seat soccer specific stadium. Do you think this would be a bet upgrade for us? Do you think we have? I don't know. Do you think it'd be good for us?
I kind of like playing in Lumen.
So here's my thing. I actually am very much like against MLS teams playing in NFL stadiums, but for the Sounders it works because the way they set up the top, it looks fine. We fill the lower bowl pretty consistently, but we've proven you saw it in the Miami game. For big games, we can sell out the whole stadium.
Yeah, that's precisely like, look at the biggest finals we ever had here, all sold out for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think we're good. I don't think we need to. I mean, it should be like another thing. Like, I assume. I mean, whose pockets is that coming out of? Just the city, I guess.
Also, where would it go? Like, would that mean we have to move outside the city? Because I think for a team like Sounders, where in terms of MLS, we are a huge market, but I mean, we're second fiddle, like the Seahawks, stuff like that. Man, I think moving out of the city,
next to T-Mobile, it's just perfect. It just works.
Yeah, Barry's the GOAT. Barry is the absolute GOAT.
Clap it up for Barry.
Absolute GOAT.
Well done. Thank you, Barry. Absolute legend of the he's on the Mount Rushmore. We say it, Mount Rushmore of this channel. He's right up
Oh,
there, man.
he's the first name on the list. He's ahead of Shion.
Oh.
Georgie.
That's another thing about like your hypothetical idea. We bring in a 9, bring in a center mid, Ferreras the 10, bring in a winger. Like it just feels weird because also we got. I know like I said, I would want us to constantly bring in competition. You do that when you're a top club for sure. It just feels like fuck. Because like fuck, you want to give minutes to Georgie. You really do. And like, you know, it just feels like bringing in that winger is just kind of taking more and more minutes potentially off his plate.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think winger is one of the positions where you can afford to do something like that, you know? That's a spot where we can afford. I mean, we have that now. We rotate through. Parking your lumen. I mean, this is a problem in most stadiums inside major cities, right? Where I think if we want good parking, we'd be outside the city, but then I feel like less people would go to the games because we'd be outside
You know
the
how you
city.
solve that problem? You leave 3 hours early.
It's true.
Solve that.
That's true. I never have problems. I always park just fine.
I never have that problem. But again, you know, every situation is different. But if you're able to, if you can leave 3 hours early, there's a spot. I don't know if you guys know this, right by T-Mobile. It's called the Hatback, the bar, right across from T-Mobile. If you get there 2-3 hours early, right behind there, you got the perfect little parking spot. Usually, it's one of the cheaper rates, and it's right like you can exit right to Aurora. If you're going, at least I guess if you're going northbound, you go right to Aurora. So, just a little pro tip.
This stream has turned into a parking conversation, which hey, you know, not against it.
These are the real conversations. Real conversations. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a group of fans who are for Baker Whiting starting. I don't see us moving on from Nuhu, but he's definitely had his woeful times this season. But we've talked about that plenty throughout this year.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, that was fun. Brody, hope you had fun. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That'll be the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to leave a like. This will be posted on the channel so you can watch any parts of it back. Leave a like, comment on that stream, on the video, any thoughts you guys had going forward. If you guys want to be a member of the page, you'll get tons of free perks. You see Barry dropping in left and right. Get some fun emojis for the chat. But outside of that, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Hopefully the next stream, we're talking about a win.